Hello and welcome to Lantern Lane Stories. Tonight's story is Emma and the Wall That Fell. 7-year-old Emma lived on Bernauer Street in Berlin. Her bedroom window faced east. Outside was a long gray wall. It was taller than any building. On one side, the west side, Emma could sometimes hear music and car horns. On the other side, Emma's side, the streets were quiet. The wall had stood there her whole life. She was born after it went up in 1961. Mama said Emma had never known Berlin any other way. Every night, Emma's grandmother lived far away. Not far like across the city, far like across the wall. Grandmother was in West Berlin, Emma was in East Berlin. The wall was between them. Mama said it used to be different. Before the wall, grandmother would visit on Sundays. She'd bring bread and jam. But one night in August 1961, the government built the wall. Just like that, overnight. Trucks came with concrete. Workers mixed and poured. By morning, families were cut in half. Emma had never hugged her grandmother. She had only heard her voice once on a telephone when grandmother called from a friend's house far away in the west. The call lasted 3 minutes. Emma remembered every word. Emma was 9 now. It was late past her bedtime, but something was happening outside. She heard voices, a lot of voices, not angry, not scared, excited. Emma got out of bed and went to her window. The concrete barrier was still there, high and still. But something was different. People were standing near it, more and more people. Some were holding tools, hammers, chisels. They were hitting the barrier. Chunks of concrete fell down. The sound was like a broken bell, over and over. "Mama?" Emma called. "What's happening?" Mama came to the window. Her eyes were wet. She was smiling and crying at the same time. "The wall is coming down," Mama whispered. "Tonight, Emma, the wall is coming down." Emma didn't understand. The barrier was so big. How could it come down in one night? But it was. She could see it, piece by piece. Concrete falling like snow, but rough and loud. The people were cheering. Mama opened the window. Cool, November air came in, cold on Emma's face. Then Emma heard it, a sound she had never heard before. From the west side, from grandmother's side, thousands of people singing. Not words Emma understood, just joy, pure joy coming through the darkness. Emma woke up early. It was strange. She didn't remember going back to sleep. Outside, the barrier was still there, but it was broken. Huge pieces were missing. She could see through the gaps now. She could see the other side. There were people everywhere, some still hitting the barrier with hammers, others walking through the broken spaces, families on both sides, finally close enough to see each other's faces. Mama was already dressed. She had her coat on. "We're going to cross over," Mama said. "We're going to see grandmother." Emma's heart did something she'd never felt before. It got very loud, very fast. They walked to the nearest opening. Emma's feet didn't feel quite right, like she was floating through the gap. The streets of West Berlin looked almost the same, but they felt different, free. And then Emma saw her. Grandmother was older than Emma had imagined. Her hair was all white. Her face was lined like old paper. But her eyes knew Emma. "Emma," grandmother said. And then she was holding her, finally holding her. They didn't talk much at first. They just held on. Mama was crying, happy tears. Grandmother was laughing and crying. Around them, the city was doing the same thing. Strangers hugging. Families reunited after 28 years. Some people were still celebrating breaking the barrier into smaller and smaller pieces. But Emma and grandmother just stood together. That was enough. Days passed. The barrier was mostly gone now, taken apart by thousands of hands. Some pieces were saved as memorials, others were thrown away. Emma was allowed to walk further than she'd ever been, past streets she'd only heard about, past the checkpoint, into the whole city that had always been one, even when a barrier had tried to cut it apart. She went with grandmother to her apartment. It was full of pictures of Emma on the walls, pictures from when Emma was born, sent through friends. Grandmother had watched her grow up through photographs. "I'm sorry, I missed so much," grandmother said one evening. They were sitting in her kitchen, drinking tea. Emma didn't know what to say to that. She didn't remember missing grandmother. She had never known her, but now she did, and that was what mattered. That night, Emma went to bed in her own apartment. She stood at her window like she did every night, but now the barrier was not there. Just the city, the whole connected city. She could hear voices from both sides of the old border. Car horns, music, the city breathing as one thing again. The barrier had divided Berlin for 28 years, but the people of Berlin had always been one. It took one night, one strange, wonderful night, to make the city remember. Emma lay down in her bed. Outside, Berlin was slowly getting quiet. The celebrations would go on for weeks, but tonight peace was settling over the streets like snow. And so Berlin also slowly fell asleep. Good night.